gotta play ya forever. Hi again, everyone. Scott Player Pop Cult fan here, and in this video, I just saw Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I actually saw it with my family last night, and I want to give my full review for it. And then I actually have another video planned for today that I probably will record after this as well, to review the new Terrifier movie, Terrifier 2. So I will probably upload these videos and record them pretty close together. So let's go ahead and do my review for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. This movie, this movie, it definitely, the director, Ryan Coogler, he had a lot to deal with when making this movie, because not only were they filming during a pandemic, but also with the massive tragic passing of the lead character and actor, Chadwick Boseman, as Black Panther. The crew and the cast, everyone involved, were obviously very struck, and you could really feel that in the emotions of all the actors on screen watching this movie. And you could really get that emotion out of all the actors. And as a result of that, all the acting across the board is incredible in this movie. Everyone was on their A game. Even some of the lesser known characters in it, or characters that didn't have as much of a focus in this movie, I feel like they were really great in their roles as well, even though I do think that I guess in regards to things that I didn't like as much, I kind of want to brush over those kind of quickly, because I love this movie, and I do have a few flaws, mainly the character of Everett Ross from the previous film. I feel like he was downgraded to a supporting role. He wasn't in the movie as much in this movie. I would have liked to have seen more of him, but he wasn't, which was a bit of a shame because I like the actor. But he wasn't in this movie as much as he was in the previous film. And also, there was another character in the first Black Panther movie that wasn't in this movie at all. It was not existent at all. I noticed that after watching the movie and then looking back at the previous Black Panther movie. There was one character in particular from the first film that wasn't in this movie at all. So that's another thing. Then also, there are a few moments in this movie that do feel a little bit rushed. There are scenes that kind of go by quickly in certain moments. And I think also, that's really it, mainly in regards to things I didn't really like as much in this film. But other than that, though, this is a really, really solid film. For those of you that have not liked some previous MCU projects that were so heavily into the comedy, mainly Thor: Love and Thunder and also She-Hulk, I think this will definitely be for you, for those of you that want a more story-driven, more emotional kind of a story with stakes and gravity to what's going on. I definitely felt that, especially with the character of Namor. I thought the actor that played him was really great as well. And actually, in regards to Namor, I feel like he could have been in the movie a bit more. I feel like we could have gotten a little bit more of Namor. I feel like even though he had an arc, he had an arc throughout the film, and I really liked that. I liked the third act of this movie. Definitely a step up from the third act of the first film, because the third act of the first film, it was a very video gamey in regards to the CGI and the animation and the way it was just made, the third act of the first film. So huge step up in regards to the last bit of action in this movie. Much better. And also the character of Shuri, easily, I think she was pretty good. She was really good. I think she was definitely a scene stealer. and she was basically like the new lead character of this movie because, obviously we're following Shuri and her story throughout this film, and what happened with the character of T'Challa, because they wanted to work around the fact that Chadwick Boseman passed away, and they kind of worked that into the story of this movie, which I'm sure was quite the challenge. But all of that worked. I think they did a really good job, not just honoring the legacy that he left behind from the previous film, while also being a relatively self-contained story. It doesn't connect too much to other MCU Phase 4 projects, but it was also just nice to have a kind of a self-contained story that you can very easily follow along, which I also really liked about this movie. And I just think that overall, it's a movie that's just, it really hits you emotionally. There were definitely a few moments in this movie that I cried. And I don't want to, this is a non-spoiler review, so I'm not going to give any spoilers away or anything like that, but I will say that you do want to stick throughout the end credits, because there is a mid-credit scene. Oddly, though, this didn't have a second post-credit scene. This movie only had one in the mid-credits. That was it. That surprised me. But, yeah, definitely stick around for that, though. Definitely worth it for what they're going to probably do for another Black Panther installment. And I have heard that they're gonna do a few spin-off shows from this movie. And also, in regards to the character of Namor, I think they did a few things differently with the character than what he is like in the comics. I know they made a few differences with the character, because in the comics he's basically Marvel's version of Aquaman in a lot of ways, and I guess they wanted to change that because they didn't want it to feel too similar to what they're doing with Aquaman in the DCEU right now. So they changed that. They changed some things, and I think it was pretty good what they did with it for the most part. And I liked the cinematography and just the way everything looked in regards to Wakanda, and also the nation that Namor is protecting, his turf, basically, deep underwater. It was beautiful to look at, and some amazing sets, amazing costume design all across the board. All of it was just really well done. And this movie, even though they had so much of a challenge with a lot going on, they managed to pull it off. Ryan Coogler is such an amazing director. Definitely think that this movie deserves definitely probably an A- for me. That is my grade for this movie. I loved it. Definitely one of the better MCU films in quite a while. But yes, it was great, and I will catch you guys very soon, because I also have quite a few thoughts about the new Terrifier movie, Terrifier 2, and I'll give my review for that as well. So I'll catch you guys in just a bit, and I'll see you guys then. Peace.